I love the mountains. My kids are, Eli, my youngest, is 5 years old, and then my oldest is 7 years old. They like to hike. They like to, they're exhausted because they have to hike up and down this hill every day to the shelter. First, they accuse us of educational neglect. And I stood up, I said, this is not a case of neglect. This is a case of lack of transportation. I used to make $72,000 a year running a printing press, but that's a dead trade, so I'm gonna have to get two just to survive in this town, unless I can get a better trade. And I plan on going back to school, certified welder, because I know that the metal industry is never gonna go down. I have a full-time job, so I'm just gonna go to work every day and work my ass off, and we'll get out of here soon. It might be 3-6 months down the road, but we'll get out of here, out of the shelter, and I'll get out of this tent.
Cortez is a really strong community, a very diverse community. It's isolated. We're in a very rural area, so Cortez is really the big city of the Four Corners. So we have a lot of folks that come to our area for employment opportunities, housing opportunities, and to receive service. We have a fairly high poverty rate, fairly high unemployment rate with not a lot of access to high-paying jobs. So fairly taxing for our community proper. As a nonprofit and as a family resource center, we're definitely one of the larger employers in the community, and I think that speaks to the need in our community. We fill a lot of gaps that government and the school districts can't fill. We don't, dollar-wise, we don't get the same amount of funding. Attention-wise, we don't get the same amount of attention as maybe the Front Range communities. We have developed strength within our community that we collaborate very, very well. We, as a community and as an agency, we realize that there's not one agency that can do it all effectively. So banding together, I think, is our strength.
As a nonprofit, one of the largest barriers that I see our clients facing and the general population facing is a lack of affordable transportation, public transportation, as well as affordable housing. People are paying 60-70% of their income for their housing, when in reality you should be paying only 30% of your income, and it's just not feasible in this area. Let's get them in a house, keep them there, make them feel safe, and then provide the services they need to ensure that they're going to be successful in their own homes in the future. It's a beautiful community, it's a beautiful place to live, and it's not affordable for everybody. And we have to be able to find a way to make it affordable for folks that have lived in this community for generations and be able to stay here and thrive and survive.
Yeah, my mom, she's Toheglini, and my dad is Tachitni. So my mother is like from the water people. My whole family, we live by the river. Every chance we had, we're always in that river. I was raised in Cortez. I've always wanted to come back to Cortez when I left. After I got my older son, my 7-year-old, I decided Cortez was the place where I wanted to raise him. We have a lot of things to do here, and if you have a full tank of gas, you can go anywhere in the whole area. I was on my way to New Mexico, and right there by the state line, my husband called me and he goes, "Guess who I just got off the phone with?" And I said, "Habitat." And we've been waiting for a whole month, and he goes, "They chose us." And right when they said that, my heart just, I've never been so happy where you cried, and it was just so shocking. This is going to be home for their lives, our lives, so we're very excited about it.
We're going to be paying on it for like 40 years now. But to begin the process of owning it, that's like a big step for me. I'm the first in my family to ever get this opportunity, so it's like pretty shocking and overwhelming to me.
If things were like they are right now, my wife and I wouldn't have a home that's paid off. we probably couldn't have got into a home. We both worked, young family, and we didn't have the income. And so it would have been really tough. I don't think we would have been able to do it. Folks from a rural community have a different mindset about what is the value of life. They want to be a part of something. They want to be real people. They want to be a part of a community that cares. They want to be a part of a community that they can contribute to, not just another number. I'm not just a mayor, kind of a part-time job, if you will. I'm not just a husband. I'm not just a father. I'm not just a grandfather. I'm not just a retired cop. You know, I'm not just a member of a local church. I'm not just a, you know, I do wear a lot of hats. And I think in small communities, again, that's important. Everybody wants to live here, but they got to be able to make money here. They've got to be able to support themselves and their family. We live and die essentially. We wouldn't have what we have today without our volunteers, without our nonprofits.